If you thought 2025's NBA free agency was just about signing names and posting them on Instagram, think again. This summer was a masterclass in both chaos and cunning, the kind of off-season that turns good franchises into juggernauts and leaves others staring at the cap sheet like it's a bad credit card bill. And at the center of it all, one question keeps echoing across the league. Can the Oklahoma City Thunder really pull off the ultimate feat and repeat as champions? Welcome to the deep dive video you'll ever need, where blockbuster deals meet betting odds. GMs sweat under the spotlight, and the Thunder's next move might just rewrite history. Why this summer mattered more than most. Imagine the court-shaking trades, salary cap acrobatics, and power grabs that have unfolded in just a few short weeks. Without mastering the drama of this offseason, the game remains your story, unwritten, your bragging rights forever in limbo. Why settle for the sidelines when you can be right in the thick of the action? Whether you're a newcomer to NBA free agency's chessboard or a grizzled armchair GM who's memorized the salary cap exceptions, this is your front row seat, with the context, the numbers, and yes, a dash of sarcasm to keep things spicy. By the time we wrap, you'll know who the real winners of this summer are, where the Thunder stand in the league's power rankings, and how to tell the story like a pro. One that educates, entertains, and hooks your audience in seconds. The stakes feel higher than ever, with so many contenders loading up at the same time. It's the kind of off-season where fortunes can be made or blown before a single tip-off. The clear-cut winners of 2025 NBA free agency. Let's start with the most obvious question. Who actually won free agency in 2025? The Houston Rockets didn't just test the waters, they performed a full cannonball. In a summer-defining move, they landed Kevin Durant in a sprawling 7-team trade that looked more like an NBA 2K fantasy setting than real life. But they didn't stop there. Houston also brought in Finney-Smith for defensive grit, Clint Capela to patrol the paint, and locked in key role players with extensions. It was the basketball equivalent of ordering everything off the menu and telling the chef to surprise you. The moves give them the star power to compete immediately and the depth to survive the inevitable grind of the season. With a healthy Durant leading the charge, Houston's offense could be downright terrifying. Atlanta, meanwhile, took the opposite approach. The Hawks didn't make headlines with star names, but quietly retooled their roster in ways that insiders love. Their strategic acquisitions and internal development signal a franchise that's playing the long game, and doing it well. Denver followed a similar stealth path, with subtle bench upgrades under new leadership. They didn't need fireworks. They needed balance, and they found it. By strengthening their supporting cast, both Atlanta and Denver have given themselves a chance to push deeper into the postseason. Their work might not go viral, but come playoff time, it could pay off in spades. The losers of the offseason and why they struggled. Of course, free agency isn't just a winner's party. Some teams left fans with more questions than answers. The Los Angeles Lakers, hamstrung by the salary cap, managed to sign DeAndre Ayton, which sounds exciting until you realize it wasn't enough to vault them into the elite tier. In Milwaukee, the Bucks made headlines by acquiring Miles Turner, but only after waiving Damian Lillard for cap flexibility. It's the kind of bold move that looks brilliant if it works and baffling if it doesn't, and right now, the jury is still out. The problem for both teams is that the competition around them just got stronger. Standing still, even with good players, might as well be moving backward in this NBA climate. Across the board, one trend became clear. The big man is back. Teams like the Raptors, Pelicans, and Bucks doubled down on size, sometimes even when they didn't technically need it, as if 7-footers were the new cryptocurrency. Grab them before the market shifts. It's a shift that could redefine how the game is played in the short term. But in a league that prizes versatility, loading up on size without spacing could backfire quickly. The Thunder's historic season and path to a repeat. The Thunder, of course, aren't watching from the sidelines. They're starting from a position most franchises would kill for. A 2024-25 season that saw them rack up a staggering 68-14 record, dominate opponents by historic margins, and claim the championship in style. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't just lead. He took home both the regular season MVP and finals MVP trophies, cementing himself as one of the game's elite. The depth behind him, featuring the likes of Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and Josh Giddey, makes Oklahoma City's roster look less like a championship team and more like a dynasty blueprint. Their balance between offensive creativity and defensive discipline was unmatched all year. It's a formula other teams will desperately try to copy, but few can. The odds and the analysts weigh in. The sportsbooks seem to agree. At BetMGM, the Thunder opened the 2025-26 season as plus 240 favorites to repeat, a position that DraftKings and other oddsmakers echoed. That's not just respect. That's a statement. Analysts like Kendrick Perkins have even gone so far as to call this the best Thunder team in franchise history, which is saying something when you remember they've fielded lineups with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden in the past. But no one's pretending the road will be easy. The Rockets' aggressive offseason makes them a serious challenger. Denver's quiet upgrades could pay dividends when it matters most. And history itself is an obstacle. Repeating in today's NBA, with its grueling schedule and parity-driven structure, is harder than passing the bar on your first try without studying. If OKC pulls it off, it will be one of the most impressive feats of the modern era. Why the Thunder might still have the edge. Still, the Thunder have more than just a statistical edge. They have momentum, chemistry, and a sense of unfinished business. It's one thing to win. It's another to dominate in a way that leaves opponents questioning if they can ever catch up. That's the kind of narrative that makes for compelling storytelling, both on the court and in front of the camera. If you're telling this tale, start with the boldest beats: the Rockets' blockbuster summer, the Hawks' quiet precision, the Thunder's historic dominance, and then guide your audience through the shifting tides of competition. Use the human element. The fans holding their breath in Game 7 moments, the GMs making midnight calls, the players chasing legacy over contracts. The hunger in this young core is obvious, and that's what might just push them over the top again. The storytelling lesson in all this: when you weave in humor, don't be afraid to poke at the absurdity of it all. Clint Capela re-signing in Houston? Finally, more height than sense in one frontcourt. Free agency itself? It's the NBA's Oscars meets the stock market. A mix of glitz, gamble, and people trying not to look panicked while cameras roll. And always bring it back to the stakes. The only thing better than winning is winning again. As the Thunder gear up for the new season, that's the question on everyone's lips. Will they repeat and cement themselves as one of the league's modern dynasties? Or will the shifting sands of free agency swallow their momentum whole? Either way, the 2025-26 season is shaping up to be a story worth telling. One where every chapter matters, and every twist keeps us glued to the page. By the time you finish watching or reading this breakdown, you'll have the clarity to talk about this offseason with authority, the texture to make it engaging, and maybe a few one-liners to make it memorable. Because in basketball, as in storytelling, the facts matter, but the way you tell them matters more. And remember, the most powerful stories aren't just told hey re-felt. The Thunder have given us a season to remember. Now the rest is up to them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.